welcome back again to my channel. If you're new here, this is Find My Way. I'm Becky. I'm really glad to see you. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and thanks for watching my videos. Thank you to Chantel. I'm really grateful to you guys for watching the videos, for subscribing, and all that. Yeah, I'm just happy that the family is growing some more, and please keep on with the engagement, share to your friends, and let's grow this family. Okay, so a few days ago I was watching someone here on YouTube and talking about millennial parenting, basically what our parents did as compared to what we are doing now. And so I was thinking to myself that I watched the video, and well, to be honest, there were quite a few valid points I took away from the video, but it also got me thinking, what about the things that our parents did in raising us that we are actually not putting into our kids' lives? That is to say, what about the other things we are leaving behind? Okay, just for context, I think millennials are people that were born in the early 80s to like mid-90s, maybe 1996 or so. And then the Gen X are those that were born right after. So I'm just talking about the Gen X stroke millennial generation. So taking the lessons that we learned from our parents and trying to pass it on to the next generation. What are the things we are taking and what are the things we are leaving behind? Please, if you hear some noise at the background, it's raining heavily, but I just felt I need to film this video right now. So yeah, please ignore any noise you hear at the back. One is independence. I think our parents, that is the old school parents now in parentheses, taught us independence from quite a young age. And I think that this is a good thing, but I found out that we are not really passing this on to our generation the way we were taught. Now, I know that, okay, the world we live in now is far more, dangerous and, very sketchy as compared to the world that we grew up in. But still, I mean, little aspects of independence was also like ingrained in us from a very young age. But now, I was talking with someone a few days ago, and she was telling me that even her kids that are in university right now, and she's practically teleguiding them. She should go with them to school, help them with their registration. When it's time to come back home, they have to go and pick the child, or arrange for someone to pick them and bring them back home. Things like that. And even if we're honest with ourselves, how many times do we let our kids, maybe from 10 upwards, go out on their own and maybe cross the street on their own? These are little traces of independence that we had growing up, that we could hold our own anywhere, and we didn't really need that much guidance per se. We could navigate our way through situations and through places as well. So that's one thing I think, okay, we could do better as millennials in training our kids. And then the other one is perception. The ability to handle unspoken communication. Very typical example. Growing up, when maybe we visit our friends and our parents, maybe we are talking too much, or they offer us something and our parents don't want us to eat it or stuff like that. They will just look at you somehow, and then your brain will just automatically reset, and that to say no thank you. I'm not just saying this just because of maybe trying to reprimand a kid, but I think this thing became ingrained in us such that even when we went to the wider world, it helped to be able to perceive unspoken communication and other nuances. And instinctively you feel the vibe is not right. these things, like, unconsciously were being ingrained in us right from when we were kids. You would perceive our parents' body language and you know exactly what's coming. And so even it's not difficult to move it to the outside world and also imbibe those kind of characters. The thing is being direct to our kids and telling them exactly how it is. I know right now we're in this phase where we want to motivate our kids, try to tell them they are special, they can do anything they set their minds to do, try to build them up, from the inside so that they can tackle life challenges and all that. But we should be careful so that we don't build a false sense of security around these children, so in a way that they are unprepared for the harsh realities of life. But in real life, everybody is not equal. I remember casting my mind back to when I was still in secondary school. I loved to participate in the Independence Day March past, but the harsh reality was that I didn't know how to march. So from the first trials, they would always screen me out, and I'll feel very, very bad. Somehow I feel that maybe the seniors that were doing it, they didn't like me or something, but I never made it to the stadium. Those things are something that I want to aspire to go to the stadium, wear gloves and nice uniforms and do the march past. So I was always a spectator. I never joined the march past, and I didn't feel so good about it. And fast forward to when I was in when I had to serve, and of course part of the service means you have to do some kind of march past. That was when I knew how terrible I was so bad at march past that maybe they are saying left, I'll be doing right, they're saying left. So it really come to me as a surprise, because I knew that I was always screamed out of march past, but the reality of how bad I really was much, much later. So I'm saying, why am I saying this? Building this kind of sense of security in a child that, yes, I'm capable and everybody is the same, when you are plunged into the realities of life, which we know is not level at all. There's always someone better than you, and there's always somebody that you are better than. But if you get to a point that, if the child gets to a point that he feels that he's all that, and then he's just thrown into the harsh reality of the workspace or higher learning or something, and he has to struggle to keep up, that child easily becomes frustrated. So I think it's something that we should tread with caution while trying to hype our children, because I know that some parents even go as far as influencing grades for their children, trying to influence teachers to put their kids in places that they should not be, that's even beyond the kids' mental capacity and all that. So yeah, all that is another discussion for another day. But I think there's a fine line in giving your children pep talk and actually making them believe that they are capable of what actually they are not. So rather than helping them grow in that which they are not capable in, you find out they just think they are fine, and then they have this false sense of security, which at some point breaks down and then leaves the child frustrated and not knowing what to do. The point is delayed gratifications. This was what was practiced by our parents. Just remembering, growing up, where we always look forward to Christmas, and some celebrations like the wedding coming up, Easter and all, because we knew that was when we have new clothes, to wear. It's not really that maybe our parents could not afford that. I think it placed in us more the sense of appreciation for what we have. We knew that we will not get what we don't need. We knew that, okay, Christmas was coming, we'll definitely have new clothes. So there was or maybe our birthdays was coming, so we'll have new clothes for that. So, but nowadays, what we see is like parents just see what they like for the kids, they keep buying. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But we also need to know what our kids want and what they really need. Because at the end of the day, they just have this entitled mentality that everything is easy, everything just comes the way it comes. And when they don't see it, it now becomes a problem. So, and delayed gratification was something our parents practiced that I think that would do more good than harm if we imbibe it in our kids. Not to the point of depriving them of what they actually need or their necessities, no. But I'm just saying that for them to have better appreciation of what they have, and then so that when they don't have it, they know that okay, there's an effort that goes into having these things. I think the last thing I want to talk about now is respect, and respect for elders. Now, I would not want my kid to barge into a room full of adults, discussing a certain topic, and the kid will just pipe up and start saying something. I think it's disrespectful. I know, yes, we're in the era of speak up, children should be bold, should be outspoken, and all that to take their place in the world. But I think there's a time and a place for everything. And more than anything, I think respect, and even more importantly, respect for elders is something that's gradually being eroded in our generation, as in what we are passing on to our children. So a child that will pipe up and speak out of turn in a room full of adults might also do the same thing in the boardroom. And trust me, you always have someone older than you in every aspect of life, be it in work, corporate field, or in school, or even in business. And there are rules to this kind of communication. So I think the earlier the child learns that there's a time to speak and there's a time to be spoken to, there's time to be silent. And that's just one aspect of respect. It goes into so many things, even as little as greeting. Nowadays, kids just feel they can, go through life without, being respectful to children. Some kids, I'm not saying all kids, but some, and it's much more prevalent in the generation we are bringing up right now. They just feel that, okay, everybody is equal and all that. That's good in some regard, but also the place of respect, I think it should not be overlooked. Because sometimes even in the corporate world, people that are your bosses are from the old school, and they also have this mentality of respectfulness and all that. So the child might start wondering, why am I not getting ahead and all? It might be that you spoke up in a board meeting and you spoke your mind while it was perceived as insubordination. So these are the things that we can imbibe in our kids that I think we were taught, but I think with the new modernity and everything, these values are slowly but surely being eroded. In summary, what am I saying? Parenting is a journey, it's a learning experience, but I think as much as we are trying to evolve the parenting practices from what our parents did, I think there are some key values that we are gradually losing from what our parents taught us. And I think it will be helpful to this new generation, especially as the challenges they are facing right now are far much more than what we faced, because now you have social media and the desperate want for validation. You have technology, you have the environmental factors as well. So yeah, I think there are a lot more that we can look back on and see how we did and how we fared when, even despite the fact that our parents were a bit more harsh and old school in their ways. So I think it's important that we take these things and try and balance it as much as possible, so that we in turn can impact values that last in our own children. So if you watch this video so far, so please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe, and turn on your notification bells just so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again. Until then, please stay safe and keep being amazing.